The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another excellent edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. Once more, do we go into the breach, dear friends?
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
And what do we have going on today? Well, another day, another rally. So we'll take a look at that. At the moment, we're up 13 points on the S&P cash, 45 on the Dow, and on the NASDAQ, across that 7,000 line, up $46.80. So what do we have here? We got a kind of an interesting market. Hasn't quite really figured out that it's a new year, maybe something's going to change. A little bit of sector rotation, and literally no signs of a weak market. Friday, I was talking to Basil around 1:15 today after he got off his show. And kind of interesting to see that everybody was piling in on short on Friday afternoon. Not only, you could have said, well, everybody was selling, but the numbers actually showed that everybody was shorting, which I took to meant that they were going to be on the wrong side. Once everybody has the idea that the market top is in, it generally isn't. And we saw a little bit of that. So we've got a market out here that we're probably going to have, at least in 2018, much narrower index profits and probably much more extensive individual stock moves, both higher and lower. So we're looking at that. Gold solidly above 1,300. What did we get the last one out here? 1,317. Someone called just before I left, I think on the 14th or 15th on gold. I said, you know what? This is as good as it gets. And holding above 1,300 sets in place the option for what they call a seventh wave. I think it's seventh wave. It's been a long time since my Elliott wave days. These are where the market just moves up a little bit each day on average, and without much in the way of decent pullbacks. Just a little more each day. The volume's never really great, but that's the last big move in a long move, which would be, 18 years now for gold off those 278 low, I think, somewhere around in 2000. So could this be the last big run for gold? Well, or a brand new one? Certainly looks like that characteristic, which is just a little bit more each day. No monster moves. Everybody chasing it yesterday because they missed getting in December. And just a handful of those kind of things. So thinking that we do have kind of a decent run in gold going on. I am long gold. We said that before we left. And the risk reward just didn't get any better. We're going to talk about that risk reward and how to pick significant lows in ETFs and other things. On the 17th, the 17th of this month, we'll have a webinar, and we'll be talking about one of my new tools to do that. It gives a little bit of a wisdom of crowd and the madness of crowds involved in it. And we'll be talking more about that between now and the 17th. I think we'll start hearing ads about it tomorrow. Did a lot of work on this, and it seems to be one of those tools that you don't use every day, but you can use every other day. But it will let you know when the opportunity to hit the home run does exist, and some other things. Anyway, interesting day out there, as we said. when we check in on the volume, it's pretty good, 2.3 billion shares so far in the NYSE consolidated tape. So is it to the levels of 2005 again? No, but I don't think that they're ever going to be that way. Too many different places to trade your stocks now that high-frequency traders can't get in front of it. So we're probably going to see a little bit lower volume just on the fact that front-running trades anymore just isn't what it used to be for those high-frequency traders. And, well, we just got a lot of stuff going on here. We'll talk about some news. We'll talk about Intel. Intel's story is one that's been around for 45, 60 days. And we'll talk about why it's kind of interesting to see people that know absolutely nothing about chip design spouting off like they know anything about chip design. So we'll talk about that too. And before we do that, we've got to start a fresh year of history.
Then it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
It is history repeating, and on this day in 1961, in the climax of deteriorating relations between the United States and Fidel Castro's government in Cuba, Dwight Eisenhower closes the American embassy in Havana and severs diplomatic relations. Severing relations marked the end of America's policy of trying to resolve its differences with the Castro government through diplomacy. Just over 2 months later, Kennedy unleashed the Cuban exile force established during the Eisenhower years, and it didn't go so well. Of course, just a few months ago, we found that the Cubans were, and the commies down in Cuba, I wouldn't say all the, well, I'd say probably what, 3/4 of the people would love if all the communists would die instantly in Cuba and let them go forth, but it's a tough road to hoe when you're living in a dictatorship mask in communism. But of course, they turned the microwaves on some of our diplomats down there in Cuba. But we'll find out more about that, I think, in the coming months. Other things going on. Just before I left, we had a very good phone call. Maybe he'll call back, tell me what he did. But he was talking about the problem that you had, or that we had, in buying natural gas. It kept on going lower and lower. I said, hey, if natural gas going lower and lower, that's only going to make the people that are shipping liquefied natural gas better, better, and better. And talk about a rocket ship. It had kind of already started out here, but it continued on. I have not looked at it today. This is a GLNG. But low price seemed to be a boon. It's up 12 cents today. What was the high? 31.64, and it's kind of in the middle of its range out here. But just because one thing is bad in commodities generally means that there's somebody that's going to do a little better on the other side of it. In this case, when you see things looking kind of bad for a commodity, the question as a trader, the next question as a trader out of your mouth should be, who will profit? Well, it's big ships. We'll be back in a minute.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And we're back. Intel, of course, had some news out that it had some problems. I've been talking about this for 45 days, maybe. Yeah, I think about that, maybe 45 days. It's been known that there was a way to get in and adjust the microcode that ran and bootstrapped the processor. One of the reasons why we don't know a lot about what's going on, and I find kind of highly entertaining, is the people that say that they do know what's going on. There is kind of a cadre of people, a handful of people, who know actually how to design these things at the very lowest level to get the processor up and running so it can start running a operating system like Linux or Windows or any of the other ones, or Macintosh, whatever operating system you're going to run today. That microcode is a closely held secret. And the whole idea that someone has gotten their hands on this code, probably not true. But kind of interesting just to see that everybody is kind of going off the deep end. Already seen some articles saying that it will slow your machine down 30% with the fix that Microsoft is planning. But you have to read these things very carefully, and it says up to 30%. So maybe it's a specific processor. But again, these people that wrote the article have zero access to the microcode. They also don't know if someone could come up with a better way to write the microcode and insert it into the chip or check. This may not be much of a penalty at all. It may be, but at the moment, everybody's yelling and screaming. My guess is that when this is all said and done, it will be a smaller, not a larger issue, and they'll handle it. But just kind of funny to see people that truly don't know anything about microprocessor design opining on it today. And it's one of these things where what was it? Mark Twain said that that a lie could get out and go around the world twice before the truth gets out of the barn or at the door, at the front door or something. I wouldn't get too wound up in this. Everybody's saying that it's a boon for AMD, and I think publicity-wise, it probably is. Take a quick look at it. Reality-wise, it is not. You have a lot of people short AMD, which is one of the reasons anything that goes up is going to have a pop. Could it get back up to 13.5? It could, but that's just back up to where this thing gapped down. Its fortunes haven't significantly changed, and of course, what do we know? Intel has made the deal with AMD to go after the go after the video graphics business. So I can't really say that AMD has a bright future or a dim one, but it's going to be kind of similar up there. Windows 10 update. All I can tell you is somebody in the den saying their computer runs slowly is that I updated all mine over the weekend, and they all run fine, and none of them slower. I have a feeling a lot of it is how much attention to detail and how often you always update your machine if it's on Tuesday. But, everybody tells me they have problems. I do it the right way, and I never seem to have problems. So, we'll see. But as I always say, that if people, auto updates, if people updated their computers like they changed the oil in their cars, everybody would be on the side of the road with a hood in the air and a big cloud of smoke from where they ran out of oil. But everybody has periodic issues, but mine experience has been very good. What else do we have out here? Just looking to see on some headlines, if anything else. Again, first couple of days of the year don't matter much. In fact, the 6th of January, almost a year ago, saw the highest shorting of any single day of the entire year. That proceeded to be kind of the moment when everybody decided to go higher and never really kind of look back. I'm kind of looking at Friday as maybe that for a little while. We have a lot of stocks at very significantly high resistance levels. And we saw, I think, a little bit of that today. But we will move on. We'll look at some of these other stocks that I was interested in. Let me go ahead and start pulling those up. Handful of these things kind of interesting. We'll get out here as soon as we get them loaded. Mr. Internet is deciding to be a little bit slow for us today. Come on, Mr. Internet, let's get it. XL Group, kind of interested in this particular chart. We'll take a look at it. Anyway, this one of the few stocks that actually is broken down. This company operates an insurance and reinsurance companies worldwide. Pretty much hit many times with, of course, the hurricanes here in the United States. These reinsurers tend to be, or continue to be, some of the weakest out here. But again, blew through a pretty decent low yesterday with 2 million shares compared to 4 million shares. Now this thing's kind of pulling back up a little bit. But one of the stocks giving kind of a signal out there that it couldn't even hold the lows in that. Some of these things continue to go higher and spike unbelievably. Today we're looking at W&T. This is the offshore group of the independent oil and natural gas producers. It's been a long time since these guys have done anything, but it got all the way to $2, went sideways for several months. That's exactly what you're looking for to buy something at the low. This thing went to 369, and of course yesterday had huge volume as it got into 369, and a continuation day today. So there's a little joy in Mudville out here for some of these energy stocks, and the continuation today I think tells you a great deal more. Wabtec. There's some other out here that if I'm wrong, if the market starts heading south, that I'm going to be taking a look at. Wabtec is WAB. This does everything that I love in a short stock opportunity, although the market would need to cooperate. I don't see that happening. But I am looking at this as one of the ones that if I am wrong and suddenly everybody turns bearish tomorrow, I would certainly look at. Huge gap down with 6.6 million shares back on July 25th. We've come back into it with 2.5 million shares on October 24th. Got into it with very light volume yesterday, 760,000 shares. But this is exactly what I'm looking at, an extended ABC on the way down. This thing at about 85. With a market turning south would be fairly interesting, but it is one of those that has a little bit of weakness built in. Some of these other ones that I was watching at highs, Taylor Morrison Home Corporation. Talk more about this when we come back. But what do we have? 25 bucks. Solid breakthrough and higher today. So another one on the breakout. Back in
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
I had a few emails during the break, and I'll answer one, and then we'll get into Taylor Morrison. One of these questions was, well, if you're updating your computer, what do you do if the update didn't go right? Well, I just go back to my last backup. Everybody does back up their computers, right? So you can just go back to the last backup. I use a product called Acronis, and we do not get paid, and I'm not getting reimbursed, but I use it, and I can go back to any one of the last 30 days and go and put my computer back into the exact state it was at. But, if you're trading, you probably ought to be backing up your computer daily. Some back it up to the cloud. I just have additional drives because I don't want my data floating around all over willy-nilly. So that's it. Got a good article about natural gas that someone just sent me, so we're going to talk about that one too. Taylor Morrison, nice breakout here. We wanted 1.57 million shares from the 25th of 2017. And of course, you got 1.5 already today. So, pretty good breakout. You're looking for, of course, this to maybe have a little bit of continuation and then a pullback. And again, I think these guys really work on a lot more of mobile homes, if I'm not mistaken. Single-family attached and detached homes, lifestyle, master plan communities, Arizona, California, Florida, yeah. I think they do mobile homes down here, or used to, but I don't know them well enough. Solid breakout for them today. Again, these were just a lot of stocks hanging at highs. I wanted to see how they were doing. One of the articles brought up, we were talking about natural gas and the low price. Who does it benefit? That you can go back here. Enterprise Products Partners. I dislike LPs, but this is one out there from Warren in Denver. Brings up that it's got a 6% dividend, and it makes a lot of money from stripping natural gas. And it's the biggest stripper out there. Anyway, getting up here to the previous high, you need 4.75 million shares. That's the July 20th high as the last high. You got to 20 cents of that today, and you already have more volume. So that one's looking like it could be a breakout fairly easily to that July 20th high. And then that would take you to the January 26th high at 29.42 if low natural gas prices persist. I'm assuming that the whole run on this has to do with low natural gas prices. Of course, energies are all the rage today. I got to sneeze. Oh, the sneezy one is back in the saddle today. Da-da-da. What's a backup? Yeah, like I said, if everybody treated their cars like their computers, they'd be on the side of the road. Occidental Petroleum, OXY, getting close to its 76.38 high from September 8th of 2016. So doing fairly well out there. These guys had their day in the 40 years in the desert down here to $47.20. That's a biblical reference for those people in Lutz, Florida. What else do we have? I wanted to look at some other ones. OHGI. I don't know why that one's in there. MUSA, which is Murphy Oil. This one's right back up high. Now, this one doesn't have much in the way of juice. They run the gas stations themselves, but this thing's right out there with light volume. That may be telling us something. We'll talk more about this. La Quinta Inn's kind of interesting to watch this one. Got slammed after its IPO. Got up to $24.94, went all the way down to $9.42 on February 11th of 2016. Came back, almost did a decent retest, but a little bit too much volume. It's been moving back up to $16.59, which is this huge gap down that goes back to the 18th of September 2015. But these guys haven't been around this long. I'm thinking it's, yeah, that's it. Huh? A little longer than I thought. But what else can you say? Okay, LOMA, another one out here. Don't know what that one's doing in here. I forget to hit the delete key occasionally. La Quinta Holdings, LQ. This is another one looking the same way. Okay. Kroger. Now, this is another one, as we said, generally when markets are going to turn, you get all these stocks right back up into these huge gap back downs with light volume. Kroger looks fairly interesting. Of course, it blew apart when Amazon was deciding to buy Whole Foods. This came down on the 16th or on the 15th of June with 76 million shares. It's taken all this time to get back up to this. Still has a little bit more of this gap to fill. You'd like probably about 29 bucks on it. You know, probably not one that I would short. It's under 30 bucks. It doesn't have that much volatility. But if you got blown out on Kroger, you're probably pretty close to getting your cash back. My guess is they're sitting against a ration of, not a ration, a deluge, a tsunami of people wanting to get their cash back. Question in the den is, can I see UVXY turning up here? And the answer is yes, but it may not do you a lot of good if you're trying to compare it to some of the other things like, what I want to say. It can turn, let me put it this way. The VIX can turn up, the UVXY can go sideways. I don't know if it can outrun the decay that's going on out there. In fact, let me show you one of the things that I pointed out in my newsletter this morning, if I can find. Let me get a few of these things up here real quick so I can go back and do this. Okay, where's my summation indexes? On a broader scale, the summation index is fairly decent to take a look at. But what it does tell us is that overall right now we are seeing a fairly decent sideways action in the marketplace. The summation is the middle part of this chart that I'm showing right now. It's got a very slow move higher. We're going to the break. I'll come in, I'll talk more about this, but for the most part, a lot of sector rotation. The S&P is really kind of going up a little bit more than I think it should for the amount of stocks participating. But we'll talk about a market that can go up so slowly that the UVXY can still be left in the dust.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks! Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
The TAS Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the TAS Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profiles So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free. For more information on the TAS Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And we're back. Hang on just one second. Okay. Well, still nothing in here. Okay. MoneyGram deal got canceled, so we'll take a short respite and we'll get back to my summation index. You've got this coming back pretty much right to when the deal was starting to be announced this last year. And you've got the basically this thing hanging up fairly high, and then a lot of discussion about how we didn't want foreigners coming into our banking system and mucking it up. And this deal slowly got canceled and killed over the time, over the last 6 months or whatever. So we've got kind of a nice pullback out here, but this is just back to where it was at. We can see that there is a much more active administration for killing some of these deals. I think it's been written on the wall for a long time, but that just coming through. Now, what else do we have on here? There we go. I wanted to go back to the McClellan Summation Index, and as a long-term trend, this thing is fairly decent. What we've seen, though, of course, is that if you have a handful of stocks carrying the market, it's not incredible to see, a little bit of rotation, and keep the market going higher. But for all practical purposes, stocks closing higher and lower have been pretty flat for the last 6 weeks. We've had a handful of stocks like the internet stocks drag the S&P and the NASDAQ up higher. But again, it's 4 or 5 or 6 of these stocks. The rest kind of just going sideways out here. And that's what I'm suggesting, is that you've got to understand what the VIX is, and that is all the stocks in the S&P 500, what the out of the money puts and calls are. So, you've got a lot of stuff in there that isn't the handful of stocks moving. So you could see even a market go higher and a VIX go sideways or even slightly higher as people buy more protection as the market goes higher. But there's so many of these stocks that are just going sideways that people aren't buying puts and calls on, and those premiums continue to shrink. It's problematic to have, like I said, just a handful of these stocks getting the high premiums and the rest of the stocks kind of going sideways. you could continue to see that happen. The second thing of the UVXY is that you've got to have a very decent trend to the downside to make it beat the VIG, if I'll use a terminology from the street. And there's so many of these stocks that look like if they're going to pull back, they're just not going to pull back that much at the moment. We could have something, a surprise come out here. But as far as I can tell, there's not a good way to beat the VIG in the UVXY, just on the handful of stocks that would come back and their premiums go higher. So I've been looking at it. I just don't see anything that happened. We played it a couple of times this last year. Had a good win, kind of gave back a little bit of it the second time. Again, it's just one of these things where conditions have to be right. And it's hard for me to see now that we know that you get 3 EPS points just for the tax bill on the average S&P 500 company. Some of those are going to get a little more, some of those are going to get less, and some of those are going to get penalized. But on average of the 500 S&P stocks, we're looking at the tax bill being worth about 3 points. And that, again, can take us up another couple hundred points on the S&P cash and still keep the same EPS levels relative to before the tax bill. So it's actually was much better than I think a lot of people thought. A lot of people like me were skeptical. I tend to be more of a libertarian. And I thought that they would probably do something a whole lot less conservative. But you've got to think at least fiscally conservative. This was about as good as you could get. And it's going to add a lot for those people that have and own stocks. So I continue to think that that is at least problematic. And the second part of the tax bill is that the withholding is going to change in February. So you're going to get a second little round of at least consumerism that I think is going to start in February. And that's going to be if you don't own taxes and you're not going to use the cash to pay off taxes, you're actually going to see, $50 or $100 more in your paycheck average across the country. And I think a lot of that's going to go into people going out and maybe eating dinner one or twice more a month or something like that. But I think in February, we're going to see a little shot in the arm. That shot in the arm is going to come from lower withholdings in about 34 of the 50 states. So right now, it's kind of hard to suggest that with all this new cash coming in the market, that it is going to be problematic. I never thought that anything for the actual economy would ever come out of Congress. But I'm shocked. It was. Home prices are going to go down in those states with very high property taxes. They are probably going to go up in Florida, Nevada, Texas, maybe Utah. Anybody that has a very aggressive no tax or low tax policies, I think you're going to see the housing prices continue. And I think now that everybody's had a little chance to go through it, like Taylor Homes I showed out earlier, breaking out to a new high, I think if you're in the right states like they are, I think you can really do well. If you're in New York or Illinois or some of these California, I think you got lots of problems. So regional, hopefully that answers the question. What else? Okay, anyway, we looked at that. We talked about MoneyGram. Take a look at some of these stocks that were kind of interesting. I was watching how Yamana Gold, because it was right up at its previous high, how it was doing. Now, yesterday, we were basically looking for 10 million shares. You had 13.6 million shares. Yeah, 13.6 million shares. But I think everybody still does not believe this gold market can continue to run. And let me go back here and just look at my last gold quote to make sure. Is that in there? Oh, there it is. Down to 90. So, did you have a little bounce out here? Yeah. Can a lot of people think they're going to ring the cash register as these things hit previous highs? Yes. But I think as long as you hold 1,300 on these, I think they're fine. So it's more up to gold now, but I think it's got a good handle on 1,300. I don't think we're going to see much in the way of 1,200.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're back. Look at Anadarko Petroleum, another one coming right up to its gap in the last couple of minutes. On May 3rd, this gap down with 22 million shares. Back up here with 2.5 million shares yesterday. A little doji out here on 3 million shares. So everybody's getting just a little bit nervous. The market's run fairly well. And anytime they can see an opportunity, I just don't understand the idea of selling this off when you're not getting a signal that crude is topped out. Maybe somebody knows something I do not know, but continues to be interesting. See if there's anything else out here. Some of these other stocks that gap down, they're getting right up to resistance. So if you're short term in some of these, probably not too bad. Although I suspect that you can get some moves here. Another one that was left for dead on Amazon's doorstep was the August 15th gap down from Advanced Auto Parts. This was all about Amazon getting into the car part business. things really haven't advanced that much. See what I did there? In advanced auto parts on that deal with Amazon. They're basically filling that gap here in the last couple of days. Tried to fill the gap on the 5th of December with 2.4 million shares. Yesterday we had 2.6 million shares. So again, you got a lot of resistance levels at this site for some of these that didn't get included in the big Christmas special. But this didn't do badly. Of course, you had to go from $115 to $78, which wasn't pleasant for people that were holding this long term. Question is whether Amazon can actually perform as well as they want to. They certainly can cut prices. So overhead for advanced auto parts, long-term problematic with Amazon, short-term looks like this at least has come up here. Going to be watching these the rest of the week. These are some of the stocks that are giving the best signals. You can always check out my newsletters on the front page of TFNN. And in the meantime, sell when you can, not when you have to. We'll see you here tomorrow. Same bad channel, same bad time.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.